Last week, President Bush announced that his economic stimulus package was going into effect early and that taxpayers all around the country would be receiving checks in the neighborhood of $600. And for that, gamers around the country, thank you. Because a generation of gamers left behind can now afford an Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, along with a copy of Grand Theft Auto 4. Because hell, let's face it, it's not like that kind of money is going to help you get a handle on your debt or deal with those skyrocketing gas prices. Your car's probably already been repoed. But what it can do is help you get your hands on that murder simulator that politicians love to hate. And you know what? You'll probably have enough money left over to buy some weed or booze or even a low-rent lady. And if you already have a PS3, a high-rent lady. So the next time you see someone high as a kite running over pedestrians, remind them to take a break and thank the president. Take this hideous sweater off. Coming up on X-Play, the latest Gears of War 2 footage and some adults-only action as X-Play investigates sex in video games.
Plus, I go on location for your first look at the new World of Warcraft expansion, Wrath of the Lich King. X-Play starts right now. Greetings and welcome to X-Play, the only time of day I'm not playing GTA 4. I'm Morgan Webb.
And I'm Adam Sessler, and we're coming to you from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles on Monday, May 12th.
Later in the show, you'll see some pixelated pixels in our Sex in Video Game special, and we'll review the new Galactic Civilizations 2 expansion. But first, let's get the top headlines in today's gaming update.
New Gears of War 2 campaign gameplay videos were released over the weekend by the game's design director Cliff Bleszinski and Epic Games. The game footage shows Marcus Phoenix battling the Locust with heavy weaponry and engaging in chainsaw duels while riding on top of a new transport vehicle called a derrick. In the video, Bleszinski also explains that Phoenix's goal is to deploy a new grind lift that will burrow into the earth and give the COG a chance to fight the Locust Horde on their turf. Be sure to tune in to X-Play tomorrow night at 8 for New Gears 2 news straight from the source with my exclusive in-depth behind the chainsaw interview with Cliff Bleszinski. Electronic Arts has secured a new loan for up to $1 billion in debt financing that can be used to support the publisher's bid for Take-Two Interactive. With the launch of Grand Theft Auto 4 now out of the way, Take-Two and EA can resume merger negotiations. Whether or not the deal goes through, Electronic Arts will eventually have to pay off the loan with interest. Nintendo's WiiWare service is finally launched here in the U.S., giving Wii owners a chance to pick up a handful of titles. The games are around 40 megabytes in size, and prices will range between 500 and 1,500 Wii points. The WiiWare service is free to browse, so all of you Wii owners should check it out. And finally, new Banjo-Kazooie 3 screenshots leaked onto the web over the weekend. Rare, the game's developer, is expected to make a big splash at Microsoft's Gamers Day event tomorrow in San Francisco. So far, details regarding the game have been highly guarded, but a representative from Rare has stated that the game's gameplay mechanics are going to blow people away. Be sure to stay tuned to X-Play. We'll have all the announcements from tomorrow's event. That's it for today's gaming update. For more of the latest news, be sure to check out G4 On Demand or head over to our website, g4tv.com/Xplay. But now, let's go over to Morgan, who's gearing up for level 80.
Thank you. When the new expansion pack for World of Warcraft comes out, make sure you don't come between me and my computer. I'll be like a mother bear and her cubs, destroying anyone in my path and occasionally snacking on salmon and crackers. I recently went to Blizzard to see Wrath of the Lich King and blew me away. Here's our preview. I'm at the world headquarters of Blizzard Entertainment to find out all about the new World of Warcraft expansion, Wrath of the Lich King. I'm here with Jeffrey Kaplan. You are the lead game designer for World of Warcraft. What are you most excited for in the new expansion, Wrath of the Lich King?
Well, I think one of the most exciting features is going to be our new Death Knight class. It's the first time we've introduced a new class to the game since we originally launched.
And the idea behind this is there's some kind of heroic thing that you have to do as a player in order to unlock it. And in this case, it's reach level 55. So if you have a level 55 player, then you'll be able to create our first hero class called the Death Knight, and it'll actually start at level 55.
Okay, so the theory is if I have a character right now in my arsenal the level 55 or over, I can go out and I can buy Lich King, and that very second I get home, I can start playing with the Death Knight.
Absolutely.
But how are the quests set up a little differently? I noticed the quest seemed a little bit more interactive when I was playing upstairs.
Sure. Our quest team is virtually unchanged from Burning Crusade, and some of the people have worked on the original game as well, so they've been working on quests and know how to make quests better than they ever have before. We've got a quest where you actually have multiple people who ride a single horse in order to escape from some werewolves. We also have a quest where you actually fly a plane and actually have to shoot down other planes.
Let's talk a little bit about the dungeon system.
We're going to do some really new and different things that we haven't done before. Previously, we either had a 10-person dungeon or a 25-person dungeon. It didn't really include both, but now we'll include both 10 and 25 for all of the raid dungeons and give them their own separate progression.
And what kind of characters are we going to be fighting?
One is the Tuskar race. The Tuskars look like walruses. They also have kind of a little bit of a look like Wolf of Brimley, giant mustaches. Another race that we're talking about is going to be a really big opponent for players is the Vrykul. And these guys are nomadic Viking warrior types who are very, very based in Nordic mythos. And they're actually trying to go out and prove themselves to the Lich King.
So the Lich King is really the focus of the entire expansion.
The Lich King has been sitting on his frozen throne for many years now, gathering power, let me tell you. And so as you level up, you'll actually get to interact with Lich King, see him, be part of his nefarious plots, and actually work against him.
One of the things we're doing is planning out all of our patches in advance. So we already have an idea of what we're doing for our patch content. For example, the final crowning moment against Arthas will take place in Icecrown Citadel, which will be the final patch of the cycle.
Is it going to be a big experience difference if you're playing Alliance or Horde?
Having a different experience with Alliance and Horde is actually pretty important. So you'll have a lot of similar kind of threads to the story, but in terms of how you get there, it will be different how you arrive at the end.
Cool.
Yeah.
I hate the Horde.
This interview is over.
The R-Type series has
Coming up on X-Play, Kristen Holt has a new GTA 4 cheat that will make you the king of Liberty City in no time. Then, we go under the covers for a steamy look at sex in games in the raciest X-Play investigation yet. Plus, we review Galactic Civilizations 2, Twilight of the Arnor, the explosive new expansion from the people who brought you the smash hit Sins of a Solar Empire. You don't want to miss it.
Our game.
Welcome back to X-Play. In every Grand Theft Auto game, a little rain must fall. No, I'm not talking about weather effects. I'm talking insanely difficult tasks, like the infuriating RC missions in San Andreas and Vice City. Thankfully, Kristen Holt is here to ease your pain.
Thanks, Adam. GTA 4 is no slouch when it comes to controller checking difficulty, but if you follow these tips for 2 of the more difficult missions, you might just save yourself the cost of a new controller and some spackle.
What about them swings?
Our first walkthrough is the mission where you have to steal a truckload of heroin from the Triads. After the cutscene where Phil fills you in on all the details,
Take it from them.
make your way over to the alley where the truck is located. You have arrived. You'll start off in a place where you can take the Triads by surprise. Since they're all standing around cars, a well-placed grenade will wreak some serious havoc. Take the rest out one by one and advance forward. As soon as you get a certain distance from the truck, it's gonna take off and you have to chase it on foot. Don't worry that all the Triads aren't quite dead. Just go. Once you reach the truck, you'll latch on, and the game will give you directions on how to pull an Indiana Jones and climb up while it's still moving. Smash the A button repeatedly to pull yourself up, then use the left stick to advance and keep yourself from falling off. It's not as hard as it looks. Once you make it up to the front, you'll automatically dispose of the driver. Then drop the truck off nearby, and you're done.
Your uncle asked me to give you this wedding present. Yeah.
In the next mission, Derek wants you to kill Aiden O'Malley.
Just this last one. Please.
Problem is, O'Malley's in police custody. Derek's brother Packy tells you to set up an ambush using a truck in a tunnel. There will be 2 arrows indicating how to park the truck. Take your time and kill all the cops. Get in the armored car with O'Malley in it and wait for Packy to climb in the back. Now comes the tricky part. You need to lose your wanted level. Head out of the tunnel and get to the nearest bridge. Cops will be flying at you until you get across the bridge. Oh hey look, Sarky's on! Ignore Mr. Sark's request to play Halo and keep going. Once you have more space to drive, you'll be able to ditch the cops. Then you'll be instructed to switch vehicles and take O'Malley to a quiet place where he can be easily disposed of. Be sure to check g4tv.com/T for the latest Grand Theft Auto 4 tips and tricks. Right now, I'm going to send it back over to Morgan.
A twilight of the Arnold.
When X-Play returns, we get between the sheets and make some innuendos for our special investigation on sex in video games. If you think your parents just heard that, say we're reviewing the next Left Behind game.
Before we go, let's discuss something else your parents may not approve of. Code Monkeys, G4's hit animated comedy of 8-bit proportions, returns. The all-new second season starts June 1st. Go to g4tv.com/codemonkeys for the full story, and to tide you over till then, check out this sneak peek.
These are very nice breasts, no? The collecting is a hobby of mine.
Those are definitely sweet, but I want breast implants, like under my skin.
What?
Jerry, I'm tired of renting. I am ready to own. Give me the best boob job $200 can buy.
Are those oranges? Yes. Let's do this thing. The bandages must stay on for at least a week. And in that time, you must not squeeze your bosom oranges.
Oh man, not even a little one?
Absolutely not. They will be very tender.
Caress?
No.
Fondle. Ow! What the
That was fresh squeezed orange juice. Very delicious, yes? But please refrain from manhandling yourself. Here is your pain medication.
I can get refills, right?
G4 presents an epic conflict for gaming's most controversial world record. The King of Kong, June 1st, only. Take G4 on the road. Download this show now as a G4 podcast.
If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life, yeah. G4 X-Play.
Welcome back to X-Play. Sex and entertainment are a dicey mix. It doesn't matter if you're talking about music, movies, or books. It can often lead to controversy. In this X-Play investigation, we take a look at how coitus is handled in our favorite medium. Despite supposedly being aimed at kids, video games have a long tradition of featuring sex. Discounted text-based choose-your-own-adventure style games, the first to ever include graphic visuals was the repellent 1982 title Custer's Revenge. In this pornographic entry for the Atari 2600, you play as a cavalry commander who has forcible sex with Native Americans. Not particularly funny, and definitely an inauspicious start for sex in games. Fortunately, in 1987, the Leisure Suit Larry series was born, and it presented a solid adventure game where you played as a Lothario on the prowl for pixelated pleasure. But despite some naughty words, that game wasn't really all that graphic. Finally, in 1996, players everywhere got to see the digital nudity they so desperately desired, when some sad, empty shell of a human being coded a hack for Tomb Raider. Affectionately known as the Nude Raider code, it let you see all of Lara Croft's bits and pieces. Of course, nothing in that game was really in clear focus, so you still had to use your imagination. 2000's release of The Sims allowed players to do the nasty all over their digital dollhouses. In fact, the series even let same-sex couples start a household together, proving that video games can be tolerant despite what the population of Xbox Live would have you think. The M-rated 2002 game BMX XXX rewarded players with gratuitous strip club videos. And when we say rewarded, we mean punished. Half these girls will look more appropriate in a Waffle House. 3 years later, the popular action game God of War featured bare-naked breasts and an even more controversial sex minigame. None of the action actually appears on camera, but it was still fairly racy for a mainstream title.
Stay, Kratos. Just a bit longer.
But the main event occurred 2 years later when someone discovered buried code within Grand Theft Auto San Andreas that gave you access to an interactive sex scene. Hundreds of thousands of copies were pulled from the shelves, and it was slapped with an adult-only rating. The company altered the product to excise the offending material, but it still cost Rockstar millions of dollars in lost revenue.
I'm an excellent judge of character.
But leave it to the massively multiplayer cesspool Second Life to really raise the bar for digital deviance. It's bad enough that the game is a repository for human beings so socially crippled they can't even function in other MMOs, but somehow one of them managed to program the ability to have sex with unicorns. You heard that right. Sex with unicorns. Congratulations, Second Life. You just managed to make Japan seem wholesome. Speaking of, the rise of hentai video games was happening concurrently to our own sexual awakening. In Japan, there's an entire category of intercourse simulators like this example, Sexy Beach 3. Often players can dress women up in whatever outfit they want and then proceed to take off that outfit and have awkward, unpleasant adult relations. But not everything is exploitative. Last year's Mass Effect featured a tasteful love scene that felt entirely organic to the game's storyline. Unfortunately, conservative nitwit bloggers somehow got wind of it and claimed that the game allowed you to, quote, engage in the most realistic sex acts ever conceived. We aren't sure what game they were playing, but despite being completely factually incorrect, the story was picked up by those paragons of journalistic integrity at Fox News. Fortunately for fans of common sense, developer BioWare never apologized or catered to those fanning the flames.
Just call us humanity's best and brightest.
And there's an even more recent example of sex in gaming. Newly released Grand Theft Auto 4 allows you to visit simulated strip clubs. You can sit back and watch the ladies slow dance the night away for you in thongs and pasties. If you aren't the germophobic type, you can even go into the back room and get a lap dance from one of these, lovely ladies. Sadly, there's no minigame that lets you finish yourself off in the men's restroom while having a good cry because you miss your ex-girlfriend. So far, the strip club scenes haven't caused a huge issue yet, although Mothers Against Drunk Driving have denounced your ability to drink and drive in the game. No doubt there will be more controversies for GTA 4 on the horizon, but we can't imagine another cup of hot coffee being served up anytime soon.
Tomorrow on X-Play, Adam sits down with Cliff Blazinski to talk Gears of War 2. It's a brand new chainsaw gun-filled exclusive in-depth interview you don't want to miss. Then, could Battle of the Bands dethrone Guitar Hero 3 on the Wii? Find out in our review. Plus, we do a little free running and go all access with the producer of Mirror's Edge, the explosive new parkour-inspired first-person shooter. All this and more at 8, only on G4.
It's a big week for gaming, this week.
Exactly. We're gonna hear some stuff from Microsoft, and well, it could be really big. I don't know yet. I haven't heard it yet, but I do get to talk to Cliff, and I gotta say that game looks so awesome. I can't wait to learn more.
It does. It's great that they're not really resting on their laurels in that one. They're really improving, and they're doing a lot to kind of make the game a little bit better, and so that'll be good. And I'm very excited for that.
It's a very big laurel they now have.
And you're gonna go check out a lot of stuff, and you're gonna come back and tell us all about it. So you're gonna have to watch. Do not miss the Gears 2 interview.
All right. We'll see you next time.